right, let's do this. What? It's only been like a month. It's only been like a month. I think I got this. Oh, I'm already recording. What's going on, everybody? My name is Zero, and boy, oh boy, it's been a while. I know I say that pretty often, but hey, I'm busy with stuff outside of my little YouTube thing that I'm trying to start, and, keep on continuing to do. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. I may be doing another video, talking about my absence from my channel and what my plans are for my channel. But we are here today to talk about another movie review. That's right, this is going to be another movie review. If you haven't noticed by the thumbnail of the video and the title of the video, we are going to be talking about the newly released Uncharted film starring Tom Holland as Nathan Drake and Mark Wahlberg as Sully, Victor Sullivan. Now, when I went into this film, I am an Uncharted fan. I like the story that they've given us in the PlayStation video games, for the Uncharted, all four of them, I believe. Now, I would like to say that I'm a big fan of the Uncharted video games, and I am a big fan. It's just that I haven't played the entirety of a single one of the Uncharted video games. I've played bits and pieces to understand what the story is and understand what type of adventure games that it sets out to be, harking back to those Indiana Jones movies, and I believe even Tomb Raider. But yeah, I have not played or completed a single Uncharted video game. But hey, maybe that'll be a future thing I do, on a live stream, maybe on Twitch or YouTube. So just keep an eye out for when I'm posting on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or my YouTube channel posts, because I might just be, streaming Uncharted soon. Going back to this film, not to get sidetracked with my other stuff, my other plans that I want to do. Of course, this is an Uncharted movie, so we have Nathan Drake and we have Sully, Victor Sullivan, portrayed by the weird, oddest casting choice that I've never thought of seeing these actors playing these characters in the film. I never thought of seeing Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake or Mark Wahlberg of all people playing Victor Sullivan. It's just an odd choice. But when you do start watching the movie, you get to see these characters grow into who they are supposed to be. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the generics of this film. I'm not going to get too much into detail about what this film has to offer. If you've played any of the Uncharted video games or seen any of the Indiana Jones movies or played any Tomb Raider video game, you're going to understand what this movie is about. It's one of those swashbuckling, adventure heist type deals. When the movie started off, it did take me a while to separate the actor Tom Holland from his previous portrayals of, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. But throughout the film, you see his character grow. You see Nathan Drake grow into who he's supposed to become, like the Nathan Drake that we see in the video games. There's a very specific scene closer towards the end of the film where everything just starts fitting together and they play that Uncharted music, that very iconic theme song from the video games, which I have to say, this movie needs that song. It just makes it more Uncharted. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it does. So I highly doubt if any of you directors for the Uncharted movie or anybody working on the Uncharted movie is watching my little review, but please, for the next movies to come, use the Uncharted song more. It fits perfectly. It just makes it all come together all that much more. But yes, Tom Holland's portrayal as Nathan Drake in this film is very charismatic. He's very charming. Very cool. I think the only reason why it was a little off-putting to me seeing Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake is because in the video games we get a much older portrayal of the character, and in here we're getting tossed back into the early 20s, late mid-20s of Nathan Drake's career as this adventurer. He's always been an adventurer. It shows in the film. More of like a thief, pickpocketer. And boy, the pickpocketing stuff in here, they could be standing a mile away and they'll somehow manage to take something from your pockets. They're like real magicians. But seeing Nathan Drake at this time, at this age, at the start of his career as this adventurer, it's really interesting to see how the film directors tackled this. Again, you get to see the growth of these characters. I said that towards the end of the film, you see them coming into their own of the characters of Nathan Drake and of Victor Sullivan. But there's a build-up throughout the film. There's a build-up to get to this specific point. So with that being said, I do believe that Tom Holland did a fantastic job playing Nathan Drake, a young portrayal of Nathan Drake. There is a post-credit scene which does feel a bit more Uncharted than what this movie was, and that gives me hope that the next movie is just going to be a full-on, what we expect an Uncharted movie to be. This again was a starting tale, the origins of these characters, so I can understand that, and it doesn't mess with the film at all. This was a fantastic film to watch. I really enjoyed my time. I took my grandma and my girlfriend to go watch this movie, and boy, it was fun. It was one of those adventure movies that you just want to watch in theaters, and you just never want the adventure to end. But now we'll move on to Mark Wahlberg's portrayal of Victor Sullivan, the Wahlburger himself. For him, it was strange because I honestly just saw Mark Wahlberg playing this jerk, this character who only cares for himself. He doesn't care if his partner gets left behind as long as he leaves with the money, he leaves with the treasure at the end of the day. That's all I saw. I just saw Mark Wahlberg being a jerk. So it took me a while to see him as the character of Victor Sullivan because it's just such a separation from this, what's the word I'm looking for? It's where you've been through it, you've been through the ringer, you've already had your adventures, but you're still there as the mentor now. There's a word for it, but I can't think of it. But maybe you guys understand what I'm trying to say. You have this character of Victor Sullivan from the video games, of Sully from the video games, who is leading Nathan Drake, who was Nathan Drake's partner, to the end, kind of like a father figure even. And correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below. Again, I have not played any of the Uncharted games to their entirety. I do plan on doing that later. But yeah, this is from my understanding as of right now. But in the film, we see Mark Wahlberg, and he has the Mark Wahlberg voice. He has the Mark Wahlberg actions. It was just a little strange. But again, that didn't take away from the movie. This is its own life adaptation of the Uncharted video game. It has the likenesses of these characters, but they are not those characters from the video game exactly. They are doing something different. They're breathing a new breath of air, a new breath of life into these characters that they put on the screen now. And I am excited to see where this is going for further films of this Uncharted series. I am looking forward to seeing an Uncharted Part 2 and continuing on. Tom Holland is a young guy. Maybe we'll get to see him grow even more into the character of Nathan Drake. Mark Wahlberg as well. I mean, toss a mustache on him and give him some silver hair, and there we go. We got Victor Sullivan. But yes, I am looking forward to seeing more of what the directors of this film, or even if they take on a new director, what they have to offer for this live adaptation of Uncharted, and bringing this world to us so that we can see on the big screen. I know that in the video games we're basically already playing a movie, but so there's a lot of comparisons going back and forth. I've seen some movie reviews for this movie specifically, but they're comparing it too much to the video game, and I think that's where a lot of these movies get bad reps. A lot of these video game adaptations movies get bad reps because people want it to be just like the video game. They want it to be just like the characters that they play as, that they have control over. But I mean, how are you supposed to take control over a movie? That's left up to the directors and the actors. There are scenes in this film that are straight out of the video game, do not get me wrong, and that is just fantastic. That toss over to show its appreciation towards the game and what inspired these shots for the film. And you'll see it right off the bat. I mean, the opening shot to this movie is straight into the action. Like, no holding back. You're in the action. But yeah, if you're an Uncharted fan and you go into this movie, have an open mind about this. This is an origin story as well. I know we get an origin story, or more of an origin story, in Uncharted 4. Take that away. This is a different telling of these characters, but in live adaptation. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to put into words. It's very weird to put into words. So, moving on from these characters, moving on from talking about the story and the comparisons between video game to live action, or to the live action movies, I do want to talk about one of the gripes that I have with this film, and that's just with the main villain, of this story. Every adventure movie, every swashbuckling, stealing treasure, they're always going to have this competitor going after the same treasure. And in this case, it's the character. I cannot remember the name of the character in the movie, but the actor is Antonio Banderas. And I mean, I'm a fan of his work. I'm a fan of his acting abilities. I think he played a very good villain in this film. But I feel like what they did with his character wasn't enough. And you'll understand when you watch this film. If you feel this way about his character, if you feel like he had so much potential for this specific villain, you'll understand why I feel this way. But I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say anything about that. But I did enjoy his character. I did enjoy his portrayal as the competitor, as the villain of this film. But yes, there's just something that happened in the film that I did not agree with, and I'm like, hey, what the heck, man? Why? All in all, I really did enjoy my time in the theater for Uncharted. I thought it was a great experience. It's been a while since I've seen one of these adventure movies. I'm a huge fan of Indiana Jones, a huge fan of The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. I'm a huge fan of the Tomb Raider video games, the Uncharted video games. So I like all of these adventure type movies, and just anything in that genre of exploration and travel and mystery. It's just so cool to me. I really like that. So watching this film kind of filled that empty little void of not seeing one of these movies in a long time, one of these adventure movies in a long time. I really enjoyed it, and I think you guys, if you're a fan of this type of genre, you all are going to enjoy it too. So without further ado, I will say I do recommend watching this movie in theaters. It is fantastic. It's awesome watching the character of Nathan Drake grow to becoming the Nathan Drake he's supposed to be. And then there are 2 post-credit scenes. Do not forget to stick to the movie for that. The last post-credit scene does leave you off on a cliffhanger for setting up for a part 2, and I am looking forward to seeing more with this movie. With all that being said, guys, if you all enjoyed this movie review, please make sure to leave a like down below. Leave a comment. I want to know your thoughts if you've seen this movie. I want to know what you think about it. Again, this is just my opinion on this movie. I don't really have a rating scale, 1 out of 10, all that stuff. Maybe you can help me create something. Maybe we can do this together, get the community, my Zero Nation involved so that we can come up with a unique rating score. As of right now, again, I do recommend watching this movie in theaters. It's fantastic. And I hope you all enjoy it too. Anyways, do not forget to subscribe and join the Zero Nation. I'll catch you all in the next video. Later.